So I was talking about my portfolio website and how amazing Windsoft is, like building a website from scratch by simply just issuing commands. You don't have to spend so many hours trying to stack up HTML tags. Um, just a bit of a background, like I started my career doing front end basically. Like this was my jam. Like everything here was kind of my thing. Writing front end code, the rest. So, and the reason I sort of stopped writing so much front end was it's kind of stressful and not so rewarding. Um, so I transitioned into doing back end for a while, and then moved on to DevOps, SRE, and stuff like that. But I still have a passion for building websites. Like it's something I can do, but I most most of the time don't uh, have the time to sit down and write thousands lines of HTML code, which is kind of crazy. So finding um, something that can just take the ideas of my brain and just do the code is amazing. I didn't write a single line of code for this, but I did write this single line of code because right now, like the AI, the Windsurf, the Claude, Sonnet, they're all good with generating code, boilerplate, and all of that. But then you still have to like check the code. Sometimes they have outdated documentation, which is, I mean, the bottleneck here is if you train your if your data set is pegged at like 2 months ago and then a new version gets released, then you have probably haven't updated your documentation and then you try to upgrade my dependencies to the latest version and then you don't read the documentation or you don't tell the the AI to read the documentation, you're gonna run into issues like this. So I kind of spent some time trying to get the AI to fix this issue with the light mode, dark mode, and it struggled for about 30 minutes. Then I went into the docs, like, oh, you have to have this if you're doing the light mode, dark mode manually because it's an updated version. So yeah, I added this line. And then I had a basic thing set up before, just the page and then just bunch of text. And it took my text and broke it down into components. So I instructed it to use best practices, which is something you kind of have to do. Like when you generate your code and then you have your folder, it's probably just going to put it all into a single file because it's easier to do. But then you should tell it to, okay, follow best practices, um, modular approach, try to make it dry. Don't repeat yourself. Like, okay, put together buttons that you're going to reuse, the cards, the spinner, the section header, and the likes. I'm not sure this has been used somewhere. So let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like this is actually needed. Probably, yeah. So Sometimes it forgets to also clean up, which is a problem. So yeah, but overall, it works well. So let's just do a sanity check. So yeah, I was talking about the process. So I it needs a lot of planning to like get result this good. And basically what I did was I wanted to put together a resume, and basically all I did was employ ChatGPT. First step is create a folder, and then I fed all the CVs I've ever put together over 5 years, 20 files. I fed it into the project as a project files, um, and then put the instruction. Act as a fan recruiter with experience hiring software engineers, applying the engineering manager, DevOps platform, all of that. Help me rewrite my CV to align with this. And then got to work. I deleted most of this because to get good output, kind of need to refine your input. So I don't want all the intermediate charts to sort of interfere with the outputs going forward. So I kind of had to delete all the previous charts, but then we got to work, and then after a day and a half, I was able to aggregate all the CVs I've ever written, like 20, into just a single one, resume.md, and then pick a certain role and then sort of adjust and reformat it to fit into certain roles like platform engineer, SRE, engineering manager, dev. So there will be slight differences, there'll be omissions, there'll be some additions, and then you have a tailored sort of CV for a particular job role. And then we have the single source of truth, which is the resume.md, and then I picked that and pretty much said uh, files, added the README, the resume, and then said, okay, generate a portfolio website based on this resume. And that was the result. And then over the next few hours, going back and forth, sometimes it would go off rail and sort of do a bunch of stuff that were needed. Then you would have to backtrack a bit and then fix the issue. So let's give this, let's try to run a build to see if what I just removed could actually be removed. Then it struggled for a while when it was just a single page, no components, just a single page, and then it struggled a lot because I mean, even developers will struggle a lot with a lot of HTML, which is why we have these tools, the libraries, the React, the Next, to sort of ensure that there's a kind of standard in a way. Either because if you had HTML and then you write a tag and then you don't close it, so it's still going to render in a way. But with this, you catch it because it's JS, and then you have to pass your code and see if you're closing every open tags and all of that. So It struggles when you have a file with so many lines of code. It's gonna knock itself out. So the best approach here is to have it done this way. So you get to tell it, okay, you need to follow best practices, modularize your code, and all of that. So I have the first version, I would say, of acceptable code. We have all the constants, data, portfolio, context, team. We have libraries for mediums. I have a medium page, and this essentially pulls my blog posts and shows it on I think the first six. I only have three. I'm going to be writing more, hopefully. Maybe based on some of these charts, I'll just check out the transcript and then put together a write-up concerning this. So we've got types as well. So we've got utils for the accessibility. So when you check the score, like Lighthouse scans, it's gonna be 100. So SEO optimized and pure perfection. Well, I think this is probably because I've spent like decade mastering the craft. Is why I'm able to get results that are like bug free. I think someone who is just vibe coding wouldn't be able to produce this quality because I kind of already know what you need to do to like get some of these things working, which is why I was able to, oh hey, you need to actually do this. So someone who's just vibe coding would not be as productive, but you still get something very good. And here's the result. Super clean, responsive, out of the box, which is something I did have to tell it to like do this. I had the collapsible, this was overflowing, but it's responsive out of the box, which is something like even designers, developers kind of struggle with. Like you have to, it's the mobile first like principle. Whatever website you're doing, because I go to websites, I see some dashboards, they're not mobile responsive. Like, dude, you can't make a web. There isn't a website or a dashboard that you can't make mobile responsive. But I just see some fintech companies who can, for the love of God, just make it mobile responsive. You have to go download the app, which makes no sense. There isn't a website you can make responsive. I remember during my time at Akave, where I just joined and they had a dashboard. Uh, I had a dashboard for the FIPE DevOps SRE platform. It was a dashboard and all of that. And then there was a ticket to create, I think, a mobile app. and and then I got another ticket to like make this dashboard mobile responsive. I'm sure most people are like, oh, impossible. Like I got to work because I mean, since back then I was already doing front end for a while. So you would assume that, oh, it's just gonna be difficult to do. Like I did it. I made the ugly looking dashboard mobile responsive, and my boss back then just was so excited because I just saved in time and money. I mean, it didn't say that, but I know that the what that meant. Like, I just saved you a bunch of cash, basically. Yeah, I just noticed an issue. It gave this ID, but I think the Habal shouldn't start from here. So yeah, it does make some mistake, but that's not an issue. Yeah. So I made it more responsive, and the next stand up we had was like, oh, Bukun is so awesome with this. Uh, with front end, it completely made this dashboard mobile responsive, and yeah, it got me some hype. Yeah, I got more steez. I can actually look for the YouTube. Let's see, hype. It's on YouTube. Like, let's see if yeah. So we got this review from senior product manager at GitLab. So I'm just gonna raise this a bit.
Incident and alert in kind of more ops monitor focused tool that was recently pointed out to me. So let me share my screen. It's what's called FIPE. I think I'm pronouncing it a bit right. FYIPE. I do consider them competitive. They're a part of their competitive with GitLab capabilities in incident alert management, including status page. This is my issue. Let's jump in. Okay, I've already created an account here, so I'm going to see me login, but I created an account when I first found out about them. Okay, looks like you already logged in. This is my account. Yep. Okay, so here I am. I looks like there's
So what you're looking at right now, I built this like this component, um, the icons and all of that. This was back in 2020. Was this video 2020? I believe so, 2020. So it's almost 5 years.
things here. Oh, so they're describing something called a component. Components are like containers. Monitor homepage. You create a container called home. Okay. If you monitor any resource, then I can select the two things are components and team members. So let's see like the team member invite got myself, and my team member, team member. So there are some PM in monitor stage. And I'm also going to add Kevin, who's our group manager in the ops section. Clearances too. Looks like their roles available are owner, administrator, member, viewer. Got the team. Doesn't seem like there's any way for me to like group my team into builds. Maybe that comes when I create components. So let's create a component. Let's just run a page. I'm going to create monitors. So create monitor. Let's see monitor resource. So my monitor would be something like let's try a personal project I might have. Okay, this really quickly. Single projects, so I store a bunch of my sample projects. If this is running right now. No. Right, it's okay. It's not running. I think this one's in here. To see if I can. I think I have a personal set of presentations. Oops. Presentations, not fancy Johnson. Okay, here it is. Oh, okay, it doesn't ask me to like instrument something, it's just giving me nothing instead. So that's cool. It's immediately this is SaaS applications monitoring that website for availability. That's cool. So I have monitors, instance logs, and security in this project. Creation reading this project. Project. Okay, so the members are in the project. This is why. That's weird. What am I doing here? Just trying to type the letter N. It's thinking I'm trying to do a new subproject over here. It's a little bit bug. Yeah, I can't type the letter in here. Okay. Yeah, looks like that is a little bit of bug. Oh, okay. Maybe this is where I should. Let me actually go back to components. Go component. My home page. My home page is view this monitor or this component. Showing the current uptime sets and now it's got response time. It knows it's on SSL. That's cool. Okay, so it's already created some information. You know, lighthouse. Yeah, it's a little tool from Google. That's also an integrated open source tool. It's this my website has some blogs. It's done folks from Europe and the United States. That's pretty cool. I like this kind of immediate insight. So I didn't have to do any instrumentation on my website. I can immediately set up external subscribers. You can see something else. I can integrate with Teams or Slack.
Right. So this is a dashboard, and this had to be mobile responsive. Difficult task, but not impossible for me. So this was done completely mobile responsive, which is why when I see dashboards that people build and don't turn out to be mobile responsive, like, yeah, you suck. There's no less artful way to say it. So yeah, this is completely mobile responsive, which is something I thought it was going to be difficult to do, but I nailed it. So impressive. Dark mode, struggled a bit with the dark mode. Had to intervene to get it working. So yep. So let's go back here. So this is done, and then this next phase is for me to make this a little bit more sexy and interesting. It's kind of plain and too many text. Needs to be more like modern and appealing, which is the next task. Let me get this merged and deployed. So this is hosted on Vercel. It takes around 2 minutes to get this into production. So the next step here is to this website more appealing. Yes. Modern. It should have, I don't want to say futuristic because humans' idea of futuristic is kind of dead. So it should have a techie vibe. Yeah, to it. Think Apple. I'm a big fan of Apple designs, Apple everything. So whenever I review designs, I kind of typography can be better as well. So let's see what we get from this. And shout out to the folks at Winsoft for granting me access to the enterprise for a month uh, to check this out and experiment with it. So I'm finding something useful to do with it. I have 500. Okay, I'm halfway. Okay, so now we start. It's gonna analyze the code base and everything and make a plan. Let's see what do we get. And you can also download from here. The files are in the public folder, and you can just click on any one of this and download. Yeah, so this 5 1 uptime. Actually put a link to YouTube as well. Like I think both of these have a YouTube demo. The live demo. Yep, it's getting to work. So let's see. Should be some files requiring Tailwind. Accept. Accept. So yeah, you still need some kind of babysitting, which is ideal for this situation. You kind of need to babysit the AI. It's not going to give you a perfect output if you don't babysit it. Always reviewing and guiding and interrupting at any time you feel it's going off book. Yeah, just need to let it do its thing. Mm. contact section should probably go into its own separate thing. So, okay, so continue. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Probably. Looking quite, yeah, no. Oh, it's all over the place. Except, oh, I think there's a feature to kind of make it not ask. Wow. Okay, need to do something about